Hey Devin, it's time to wake up. You got a show to perform.
A new show to perform? All right, I'm excited.
I know you are. Why don't you go take a shower before you leave?
This show is called Countries Where the Heroes Are Welcomed In. Do keep in mind that this is all fictional and it's not meant to offend anyone. Hi, I'm Devin. Welcome back to my channel. So in my previous video, we talked about countries where the heroes are not welcomed in. So now we get to talk about countries where the heroes are welcomed in. So we already know that the heroes live in the United States. And we have countries that love the United States. Just like how we have some countries that hate the United States. So I'll be looking at different countries that are very friendly. Shall we begin? Number 1, Canada. Of course this country was gonna be on number 1. If you're expecting the heroes to be completely American, that's not really the case. Like for example, Saranathan just found out one of his friends had a mother who was born in Canada. You see, Canada has a lot of nice people and it's very welcoming. Canada is actually the largest country in North America. If the heroes do visit Canada, they'll feel like they are welcomed in Canada. You know, I think one of these days I should visit Canada. But I would rather visit Canada when it's nice and warm. But we'll just play by ear on Canada. Number 2, Japan. The good home country of anime, Japan. We have gotten a lot of stuff from China, but some people do say that Japan is better than China. Japan has the most advanced technology and they have pretty smart people. Japan can be a little bit confusing to the heroes because they're not used to what Japan does. In Japan, you have to bow down to everyone that you meet. No handshakes, no fist bumps, no hugs, nothing like that. The older the people are, the deeper you have to bow down. Even if Japan can be a little bit confusing to most Americans, it is still a friendly country. But for the heroes, I'm pretty sure that they'll just get used to it. In fact, they do have a friend who was born in Japan and speaks completely in Japanese. But they won't get a friend who was born in China and speaks completely in Chinese. Number 3, South Korea. We have now reached to North Korea's counterpart, South Korea. Just like what I said in my previous video, in North Korea you're treated like a slave. But in South Korea you get to have your freedom. But since I'm on YouTube, I should not mention any names of bad people. If I do, I could possibly get in trouble with YouTube and I don't want that to happen. So let's just keep all of my videos soft, friendly, and safe to watch, okay? So, with South Korea, it is a very friendly country where Americans are allowed to visit. If you really want to know about the dark side of South Korea, just think about what would happen if you spend the rest of your life in a cemetery. South Korea would advise you not to use any red ink pens. In South Korea, if you write down someone's name with a red ink pen, you'll make people realize that you want someone to die or if someone is going to die. South Koreans believe that red represents danger and blood and death. So if you want to write down someone's name, just use a blue ink pen. South Koreans are just uncomfortable with red. South Korea is all about respect. People in South Korea do want you to be respectful. But to be respectful to everyone, you have to use both hands on everything. South Korea can be a little bit confusing, but I'm sure that everything will be just fine. Number 4. Mexico. Putting Mexico in number 4 was a lot safer than putting South Korea on number 4. The reason why is because South Korea is afraid of the number 4, but Mexico is okay with the number 4. What makes the heroes welcomed in Mexico is not only do they have relatives that were born in Mexico, but most people that live in Mexico are fairly reasonable. You know, I have some relatives that were born in Mexico, but I'm still fully American nevertheless. There is no conclusion for Mexico. Let's just move on. Number 5. Egypt. An African country located in the northeast. Some people on YouTube say that Egypt hates the United States, and some people say that Egypt loves the United States, so I guess Egypt can be a little bit iffy on that. What makes the heroes welcome in Egypt is that they have friends that were born in Egypt, like the Crystal Princess and the Queen of Egypt. Both of these girls are cousins to each other. They both have a grandfather who was born in Madagascar. Even though that Madagascar is an island, it still counts as an African country. The heroes are welcomed in Madagascar and the next African country on this list. So let's get the conclusion of Egypt and move on. Number 6. Liberia. A unique African country located in the West. This African country is small, but it's not the smallest country in Africa. Both Liberia and Malaysia share the same flag pattern as the United States, but they're still different. The United States flag has a blue rectangle and 50 stars that represents the 50 states. Liberia has a blue square and 1 star that represents the first independence in Africa. The Malaysian flag has the blue rectangle and the crescent and star that represents Islam of the official religion of the Federation. But right now, let's just focus on Liberia. Liberia is one of the poorest countries in Africa. But what makes Liberia welcoming is that the people are friendly and the country is pretty unique in its own style. Most African countries can be a little bit difficult to visit, but some of them are fairly reasonable. At least Liberia is more friendlier than Mozambique. There is no conclusion for Liberia. We gotta move on. Number 7. Italy and Hungary. To make this video a little bit shorter, we're gonna talk about these two countries at the same time. To tell the difference between these two countries is to look at their sizes and shapes. Italy looks like a boot. I don't know what shape Hungary looks like, but I know it's small. Their flag colors are the same, but their patterns are different. The color patterns of Italy's flag are vertical. The colors of Hungary's flag are horizontal, with red on the top and green on the bottom. The city in Hungary that the heroes will enjoy is Budapest. And let me tell you a secret, folks. It's not Budapest, it's Budapest. The people that live in Hungary will not like it if you call their city Budapest. You should also be careful on what you joke about, especially when you say I'm hungry in Hungary. Hungarians would not appreciate you saying I'm hungry. But what about Italy? Well, Italy is pretty fancy. Italy is a pretty nice country in Europe, but it's not the biggest. The heroes have made friends with people from different countries, including Italy and Hungary. If you expect the heroes to make friends with people from Russia, Venezuela, North Korea, Iraq, India, Iran, or any other countries like that, that's a fat chance. Well, they have made a friend who was born in Vietnam. This video is too long for conclusions of Italy and Hungary. Let's just move on. Number 8. The Philippines. You knew the Philippines was going to be on this list. In fact, the United States and the Philippines have had a good relationship with each other. The people that live in the Philippines love karaoke. The heroes might find it better than Indonesia and Malaysia. The heroes think going barefoot in the Philippines is easier than Iraq, Monaco, and Cambodia, which you should understand why. In Cambodia and Iraq, it's very disrespectful to show the soles of your feet to anyone. The Philippines does look like paradise, but it's just some islands that are paradise. I think one of these days I should visit the Philippines. Okay, one more country and then we're done. Number 9. Singapore. Finally, we have come to our last country, one of the smallest country in Asia. Singapore would advise you not to feed any of the pigeons. Singapore just wants to be a clean country. In most Asian countries, including Singapore, when you visit someone's home, you gotta take off your shoes. At least the heroes will not have a problem with that. Even though the heroes are United States citizens, they still go barefoot in public. Well, Singapore would still advise the heroes to keep their feet clean. The only problem that the heroes will have is alcohol. You should already know what alcohol does to the heroes. I'm not going to go into details because I've talked enough about alcohol. Besides, if I continue to talk about alcohol, I could get in trouble with YouTube. Besides, Singapore can be a cool country as long as you follow their laws and their rules. I think we have talked long enough. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. And also remember to click on the subscribe button and the bell so that you'll get notified about my future videos. And remember to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. My YouTube videos will premiere every Wednesday at 12 o'clock p.m., so don't forget to set your reminders. But now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back inside my house and wash the sand off my feet. But as always, thank you all for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Devin Chisholm saying peace out, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.